Hey, how you doing? I want to talk to you a little bit about the Prophet-5 synthesizer and its impact and how the fuck they made the thing, eh? So here's the deal. It's like 1970 fucking whatever, right? And you got all these keyboard players. They want to play a polyphonic synthesizer. They don't want to play $8,000 for the fucking thing, eh? So there's this guy named Dave Smith. And he's a fucking genius, I'm telling you. But before we start talking about him and his company, we gotta talk about the competition, huh? You got Moog with whatever the fuck they're doing, Poly Moog. Goddamn thing doesn't even sound like a polyphonic mini Moog, and that's what everyone wanted. So why the fuck did they do Divide Down? Who the fuck knows? Op, they're over there whacking around, coming out with the Omni and the Omni 2 and the fuck your mother, and they ain't coming up with Ugats. You understand me? They come up with the Quattro way later after the fact, but the goddamn thing's just a slew of other synths they already had. So the only two big companies out there at the time that could really do anything was Oberheim Electronics and Yamaha, which was already doing it, the sneaky Japanese bastards. So here's the fucking deal. You got Oberheim coming out with the 4-voice, the 8-voice. They're charging an arm, a leg, and a testicle for the fucking things. And they're all modular, and they're all based on synthesizer, expanded modules. Who gives a fuck? The problem is they're huge. You understand me? They're fucking huge. And you can't move them that easy. And they're a nightmare to fucking program these things. You want to talk about wasting time. You want to get a simple brass sound on one of these fucking things. You gotta dial in one and dial in another, and so on. You gotta get these cocksuckers exact too. You can't go dicking around and like a Gavone and just do it half-assed. You know, you gotta get them in exact, and it could be like 8 times you're doing this shit. And then Oberheim goes, "Hey, we could come out with a little programmer, help you save your sounds, you jagoff." So people buy the programmer and they see it and they go, "What the hell is this? It's not even all the parameters. I can't even save all my parameters on the goddamn synthesizer, so that's fuck all." And you look at Yamaha, those crazy assholes, you know what they were doing? They come up with this 230-pound, $8,000 monstrosity. Sounded beautiful, though. It was fucking beautiful. But the goddamn thing didn't have any sort of auto-tuning circuit. When it heated up, if you were using it live, it was a ball buster. Trying to move it, you get a fucking hernia and a coronary all in the same time. God damn it. But hey, I digress. You want to save your sound on that big bastard, you look and you're thinking, where's the save button? Where's the right button? Is it here? Or where's this little trapdoor? Oh, what the fuck is this? It's a miniature set of the parameters. You got the front panel right here. The fucking thing's got all the knobs. You spent so much time dialing in the cocksucker to perfection, and then you got to do it all again on a GIMP version of this fucking panel? Oh, what the fuck is this? What's the jadrul bastard in R&D at Yamaha thinking to himself? Oh, well, I don't understand how to do it, so fuck them. They'll figure it out. And we'll only give them 4 memories, and it's a bi-temporal synthesizer, too, so good luck with that shit. You want to save more than 2 sounds, really, you're screwed. And that fucker cost $8,000. You know how much whores and blow I could buy for $8,000? And in 1977, too, no less. Fucking inflation. But what really inflates my ass is that these two companies, they were the fucking pinnacle right there. You got Yamaha CS80, Oberheim's 8-voice, 4-voice, and Op and Moog, whatever the fuck they're doing. But in walks Dave Smith. Fucking guy's got a little company, a sequential circuits. He's thinking to himself, oh, I think I might be able to make some bang from fucking bucks for myself. So he's coming out with these programmers and these sequences and wooey doohickeys and woody rahas and all that, whatever the fuck. And then he asks some of these fucking boys, some of his friends over at Emu Systems, whatever the fuck. He says, what do you think I should do next? Because they already had a little relationship, you know what I'm saying? Not like the fucking gay kind, but anyway, I digress. These boys at fucking Emu are like, you should build a polyphonic mini Moog is what you should do, Davey boy. And Dave's going, it's not a bad idea. Now they got these SSM chips. I could put these dirty little sluts under the control of a Zilog Z80 microprocessor with a digital to analog digital converter to map out the positions of the potentiometers and save them in a digital memory. It's fucking brilliant. But it was Rick Wakeman, yes, Yes, the keyboard legend of Yes, Rick Wakeman with the fucking cape and the hair. He said, don't just call it the Model 1000, you stupid bastard. Give it a name. Or to quote him directly, give it a name. Give it something with personality, not just fucking a number. What, you stupid? Fucking hell. And Dave Smith is your genius. Your cape, you earned that with that thought. We're going to call it something. And, you know, the boys at Sequential would think we could call it the Wizard or the Seer or the Mincing Pedophile Boy Hungry Monster. How about the Prophet? Because you're going to make a lot of that shit, you know, I'm going to tell you. And that was Dave's idea. He said, Prophet. We're going to call it the Prophet. And to quote the man, fuck you. We're going to call it the Prophet. And it's going to have 10 voices, end quote. That's exactly what he said. I'm not making that up. I'm fucking telling you the truth. What's right is right. Moving on, I digress. 10 voices. This fucking guy wants to put 10, that's 20 oscillators into a box this size. Yeah. This fucking, it's gonna heat up like Reactor 4 at Chernobyl, for Christ's sake. And it did. Fucking thing was unplayable. You tune it, and it's fucking out of tune again. Oh, you know how fucking much of a ball buster it is? Fucking John Bowen was playing the thing. He had the prototype. And he worked with Sequential because he left Mode because they were doing jag shit. So he went with Dave. He's got the prototype, the 10 voice. He used to gig with the fucking thing. He'd leave all the screws undone on the bottom of the panel so he just lift it up and tune it. You fucking believe that shit? Oh my god. How you supposed to tune it in the middle of a song? What do you, excuse me everybody. Everybody just have a nice drink while I tune 20 oscillators and keep the airflow going. And yeah. So anyway, Dave says to himself, I don't think we could do this. I think we need to dump half the fucking electronics and call it the Prophet-5. And thus the Prophet-5 was born. A 5-voice synthesizer that sounds so good it'll bring a fucking tear to your eye. Alright? So good. But there were problems. There was a few problems. The SSM chips they were using for the oscillators, the filters, the VCAs, all the EGs, all that other bull fuck. They weren't exactly reliable. They'd have to do tests and half the goddamn batch they'd get was fucked up. They couldn't use it. And not only that, but solid state music, those fuckers, they couldn't pump out the chips fast enough. And if you can't collect your chips, that's when you send a trio to bust fucking kneecaps and maybe put a few bullets in the back of a few fucking brains. But I digress. Hold on, I'm having a stroke. I digress. So, you got this Prophet-5, it hits the market. It's a little unreliable. It's pretty unreliable. You could gig with it. I mean, you look at Greg Hawkes in the Cars. That fucking guy. He's playing Let's Go on the fucking the Midnight Live, whatever the fuck they got, the midnight show. The bow 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 bow. Sounds great. I wonder if after the show the fucking thing dumped all its memories it was so prone of doing. It would literally just become retarded in a second. You go to play it, you press, you see my presets, I got all my presets saved, and it would go, duh, and just dump everything, and there'd be a little stain under the fucking Prophet where it pissed on the floor. I digress. Revision 2.0 comes out because the fucking first couple were only made in his garage, and they were about as reliable as that old Dodge Dart you probably have in your backyard with the mice living in the tailpipe. Rev 2 comes out, it's better. It's much better. It's still using the SSMs. It still has a little bit of a problem with instantaneous mongoloidation every once in a while with the duh, I just dumped all my presets. But I digress. 1979, people are loving the Prophet-5. It's great. It's wonderful. And they're coming out with other products at Sequential. And Oberheim comes out and they go, we're going to come out with the OBX. And even for the 4-voice model, it's going to cost as much as a brand new Prophet-5. So you can see how that fucking went down. It sold a few. Sold a lot. It was only about 800 of the cocksuckers made. But anyway, moving on. Prophet-5 Revision 3.0. This is when they went to SSM and they say, fuck you. You ain't making the goddamn circuits enough. When you do that, they come out fucked up. I can't use these mongoloid chips. I can't use any of this. You guys, you're unreliable. You're unreliable assholes. So we're going to go to Curtis Electro Micro Techno, whatever the fuck you call it those days. CEM chips. They're a lot tighter, a lot more reliable. The sound is arguable. Some people say the SSM sounded better because they were a little bit more retarded and they slurred their voicings across the 5 voices, and they weren't always in sync with each other, and they drifted a bit more. And yeah, that made it sound a little bit more thick like your fucking sister. But these CEMs were more reliable. They were tuned better. They stayed in tune. And with the CEMs, they were even thinking, hey, we could put those extra 5 voices in this box, make it a Prophet-10. But they went double manual and made a Prophet-10. 2 keyboards. Badass. Badass. It was the balls. But I digress. Actually, I don't. I don't really got anything else to say on the matter. The Prophet-5 is a fucking legendary synthesizer, and I pity the fucking Gavone who's gonna try and get anything else and say it's as good. You get your Jupiter 8. Of course, that's a fucking legend, and it sounds great. And you get your Oberheim OBXAs and OB8s and whatever the fuck. But nothing sounds like a Prophet-5. And that's just it. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Alright? I'm turning the camera off. Go fuck yourself.